Have you ever finished a meal and instead of feeling good, you just feel worse? Kind of dizzy, weak, foggy? It's so frustrating, right? Well, today, we're going to put on our detective hats and solve this post-meal mystery once and for all.
And listen, if you felt this, you are not alone. This quote from someone on an online forum just nails it, doesn't it? That weird combo of feeling totally wiped out, but also kind of wired and shaky. It's confusing, but it's also super common.
So what is actually happening inside our bodies to make us feel this way? Well, to get to the bottom of any good mystery, you got to start by gathering the clues. So let's take a look at the most common symptoms.
And wow, look how different these symptoms can be. For you, it might be that dizziness and sudden wave of fatigue. For someone else, it's that awful brain fog where you just can't think straight. Or maybe it's shakiness, a racing heart, or that bloated, disoriented feeling. All of these are the crucial clues that are going to lead us to our main suspects. All right, our investigation starts right here with our first major suspect. This one involves a sudden, really unexpected drop in your blood pressure that happens right after you eat. The official name sounds complicated, postprandial hypotension. But let's break that down. Postprandial just means after a meal, and hypotension, well, that means low blood pressure. So it's literally just low blood pressure after eating. And it's a prime suspect because the timing fits our mystery perfectly. And get this isn't some super rare thing. Research shows that up to 1 in 3 older adults deals with this to some degree. I mean, think about that. That is a ton of people walking around feeling crummy after meals and having no idea why.
So how does this even happen? Okay, picture this. After you eat a big meal, your body sends this huge rush of blood down to your gut to start digesting everything. Totally normal. What's supposed to happen next is your body tightens up blood vessels everywhere else to keep your blood pressure nice and stable. But with postprandial hypertension, that follow-up step just doesn't work right. All that blood pools in your gut, your overall pressure takes a nosedive, and suddenly your brain isn't getting enough blood flow. And bam, that's where the dizziness and brain fog come from.
So here are the clues you need to look for. Do you start feeling bad within an hour or two of eating? Does standing up right after a meal make it way worse? Is it more intense after a huge pasta dinner or maybe after a glass of wine? If you're sitting there nodding your head, we might be getting really close to solving your case. But what if that doesn't quite sound like you? Well, our investigation is far from over. Let's open up case file number 2. In this one, the culprit isn't your blood pressure at all. It's your blood sugar. Yep, we're talking about the classic sugar crash.
The technical term for this one is reactive hypoglycemia. Reactive because, well, it's a reaction to the food you ate, and hypoglycemia just means low blood sugar. Now, notice the timing here is a bit different. This usually happens a little later, maybe within 4 hours after that high-carb meal.
So the story here is all about insulin. You eat something heavy in carbs, and your blood sugar shoots way up. Now, sometimes your body kind of overreacts to this. It sends out a flood of insulin to deal with all that sugar, but it's a little late to the party. So this insulin works too well, and it yanks way too much sugar out of your blood way too fast. And that's what causes that sudden crash and all those shaky, weak feelings that go with it.
The clues for this suspect are pretty unique. First, the timing is later, a few hours after you've eaten. It can also come with this intense craving for more sugar. And then there are the feelings, that irritability, anxiety, what some people call being hangry. Tremors and sweating are also really common signs. This whole pattern can often be an early warning sign that your insulin response isn't working quite right, like we see in prediabetes.
Okay, so just when we think we have our 2 main suspects all lined up, a lesser-known clue kind of pops up out of nowhere. It's a bit more complex, a little mysterious, but for some people, this could be the key to the entire case. A potential connection to gluten. Yeah, for a smaller group of people, that dizziness and foggy feeling might not have anything to do with blood pressure or blood sugar. Now, the research here is still emerging, but it's pointing to a really surprising trigger for some, and that's gluten.
And this is where you can really see how connected everything in our body is. So in people with celiac disease, some studies have linked gluten to vertigo. There's also research looking into a possible connection between gluten sensitivity and Meniere's disease, which is an inner ear issue. And, most relevant to our case, celiac disease can actually damage the nerves that control automatic stuff in your body, like blood pressure. Which brings us right back full circle to suspect number 1.
Whew. Okay, we have reviewed all the evidence on our main suspects. Now it's time to put all these pieces together and figure out how you can crack the case of your own post-meal symptoms.
This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? The symptoms can feel so much alike. The dizziness, the weakness, the fatigue. So how on earth are you supposed to know if you're dealing with a blood pressure problem or a blood sugar problem? This table right here, this is your cheat sheet. Honestly, the biggest giveaway is the timing. If you feel sick almost right away, within an hour or two, you should be thinking blood pressure. If it takes a few hours to really hit you, that points more towards a blood sugar issue. And notice the triggers. One is about the size of the meal and what you do after, like standing up, while the other is all about the type of food, specifically those high-carb meals.
But here is the most fascinating twist in this whole mystery. We've just laid out two very different problems, right? One is blood pressure, the other is blood sugar. And yet, the toolkit you need to solve them, it's almost identical.
And this is your prevention toolkit, your action plan. First, eating smaller meals more often helps prevent both that huge rush of blood to the gut and a massive insulin spike. Second, make sure your meals have a good base of protein and fiber. That slows everything down and helps your body respond more calmly. Third, drinking a big glass of water about 15 minutes before you eat can help keep your blood volume stable. Fourth, just stay seated for a bit after you eat. Give your body a chance to adjust. And finally, regular exercise is amazing for your overall vascular health. These are simple, powerful changes.
But, and this is so important, while we've done some great detective work here today, you need to remember that the lead detective in your case is your doctor. They're the ones who can run the right tests, like actually monitoring your blood pressure and sugar after a meal, to give you a real, definite answer.
At the end of the day, those weird post-meal symptoms, they're not just annoying, they're signals. They're your body's way of trying to tell you that something is a little out of balance. The real mystery isn't just about what's going wrong, it's about what you can do to make it right. So the question really is, are you ready to listen?